Hey, everybody, this is Jimmy, and welcome to another episode of our Meet the Cambridge Candidates series. Candidates for Cambridge City Council and candidates for Cambridge School Committee. Right now, we have a returning champion from the Cambridge School Committee. She served 2 terms on the Cambridge School Committee, and she's now running for Cambridge City Council. Please welcome to the show the one and only Ayesha M. Wilson. Hello, Ayesha. How are you today?
Hi, Jimmy. I'm doing well today. Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
I am good. I'm having a blast doing this Meet the Candidates series. It's so great to be reacquainted with some folks that I've met before, like yourself, and also to meet all the new folks that are running. So, Ayesha, please just give us a little bit about your background. You served 2 terms on the school committee, and how long have you lived in Cambridge, and why are you running now for City Council?
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Jimmy. And again, thank you for all that you do. So I am a lifelong Cambridge resident. I grew up here. My whole K-12 education has been in Cambridge. And that's my beautiful son in the background. And I am just ecstatic to be doing this work. And what really drives me in terms of continuing to be in Cambridge, and while I did take a little bit of a break to live in Boston because I couldn't afford to live here, and I was a Section 8 voucher holder, what afforded me the opportunity to come back to Cambridge was actually for another job. I work with specialized housing, and I have a studio apartment, but I also, the way I pay my rent in a way is by having a job. It's a job where I support adults who have intellectual differences, and I've been doing that work for now 7 years. So I'm excited to be back in Cambridge, the city that raised me. My son and I, who's 16 months tomorrow, or probably by the time this airs, he is 16 months, and to be able to be in Cambridge, to be in our home. My K-12 again was here in Cambridge, and I look forward to saying that his is able to be here if we can continue to afford to live in Cambridge.
Ayesha, I see you have a new guest with you.
Yes, this is my baby, my 16-month-old, Mr. Changa, or Mr. Prime Time. Changa Prime is here. He needs
Hi,
to make
Changa
that
Prime.
guest
Nice to
appearance.
meet you. Thank you for letting your mom do this interview with us. So, Ayesha, why are you going from school committee up to Cambridge City Council?
Yeah, Jimmy, thank you so much for that question. This is a historic time that we have in our Cambridge Public Schools, but across our city as a whole. With 3 seats, with 3 candidates, with 3 counselors not seeking re-election, this is a time and opportunity for us to really shape where we're going as a city and as a community. There are a lot of great people who are running, but I know that my voice, given the great success that I've been able to do on the school committee, will be very much an impactful and powerful one on the council. As a social worker, I think holistically. I think about the whole child. And in order to really meet the needs of our kids on the ground in terms of education, we have to make sure affordable housing is there. We need to make sure mental health resources are there, that our climate resources and infrastructure is there, and most importantly, that we're looking at after-school programs and making sure that there's after-school for all. So that is the reason why I'm running for city council, because I want to make sure that the most marginalized voices has a seat at the table and are brought along in conversations and are not left behind. I don't want any of our neighbors to be left behind and feel like their voices do not matter in our city, because they do. I had a K-12 education here in Cambridge. I want to make sure that this young man and all of the babies of Cambridge are able to have the same.
Well, Primetime, we want him to be well educated as well, and just be as happy as he is right now as he grows up in this fine city. So what would just tell me, what do you think the city is doing well? The city of Cambridge doing well, and where do we need improvement?
Yeah, so, we're doing well in a number of things. I think we have the great resources of Harvard, MIT, and just great, phenomenal schools and great people and neighbors. We have wonderful businesses, and we have places like Starlight Square that is just really being able to bring together the arts and people and skills and so much more, and small business owners, entrepreneurs, and just visionaries into our city. So we're really able to maximize on the quality of life in that respect. But then I think there's a few places in which we are falling short. And then when we think about affordable housing, true affordable housing, and another thing that we're doing well is the guaranteed income that the mayor has been able to increase for families, right? That's another amazing thing for our community, for our neighbors who are in need. But where we're falling short is when we talk about affordable housing and when we talk about even bike lanes, for example, right? These are critical issues. We're in a housing crisis across our city. And as someone who's a product of public housing, I know firsthand, and I work for CHA, I know firsthand just how much work we need to be doing and how much work we need to be devoting to making sure that we build affordable housing, and affordable housing that is truly affordable for individuals and families. And also, talking about bike lanes, I work with young people. So I think that bike lanes are important. I also know that communication and process is too. And I think we are doing a poor rollout of communication and process. We are really not listening to people. We're not listening to what the needs are and how we use our roads for our elderly, for our folks with disabilities. Again, I work with adults who have intellectual disabilities and other physical handicaps as well. And what the disruption that we had here on Garden Street was just, our voices were not heard, nor were they represented. And so this is a huge mishap for our community, and it's causing a lot of division, and we need to do better with that.
So your top 3 to 5 priorities would be what?
Well, one, affordable housing, true affordable housing, looking at affordable rentals. No family should be paying $3,400 for a 2-bedroom apartment. And that's what we are faced with right now. And when you think about childcare and rent, folks are like figuring out, how do they put food on the table? Thinking about affordable after school programs. We know that there is a high number of young people who are on a wait list. And we need to do better to make sure that all who need have. And that's what we need to be able to do. Our climate infrastructure, our mental health services, making sure that our elderly has a really robust senior center for them, and also having their needs met, having a caring person who appreciates them and talks to them, and that they are able to avoid being parts of victims of scams and so much more. Hey, baby. And so those are some of the work. And I would say, again, mental health for all, just making sure that our mental health resources are really set up in a good way. And just talking about climate again, just really thinking about our canopies, and whether we're talking about trees or just our infrastructure for mobility, and looking at Jerry's Pond. As a girl from North Cambridge, I think about Jerry's Pond and how we can really make Jerry's Pond a more robust space for all to enjoy.
Right. I like how you refer to it as Jerry's Pond, because growing up it was Jerry's
Pit. Yeah.
So we're already making progress.
Pond. I don't know the pit, but I would though like to see that burger spot come back, because I heard that they had an awesome burger spot back there.
They did. It was called Kelly's.
Yeah.
It was a great place. It was like 11 cents for a hamburger.
What?
But anyway.
Well, if we had beef that was 11 cents, I don't know what kind of beef that is.
Maybe it was 25 cents, but it was cheap.
It wasn't organic.
No, it wasn't. But anyway, tell me what organizations, if any, have endorsed you?
Oh my goodness, I have so many. I want to pull them up. So I have been endorsed by the Greater Boston Labor Council, by NASW PACE, which is their political action candidates, A Better Cambridge, my union, Teamsters Local 122, Massachusetts Women's Political Caucus, Cambridge Residents Alliance, Cambridge Citizens Coalition, Sierra Club, and the Environmental League of Massachusetts. And more are on its way. And more are coming. So I'm about my endorsements. I know there's a community out there who really wants to see me win right now. And I'm really grateful to that. I've been also supported by many unions who have given to our campaign and who are continuously looking at ways to help and support this campaign to see a victory on November 7th.
So tell me, in terms of community, listening to the community, you already alluded to the fact that that's not always, and I've heard the same thing from other candidates and other residents, that around certain issues, the population sometimes does not feel heard. Yeah. As a candidate or as a Cambridge City Councilor, are you open to community input around the issues of housing and the affordable housing override and the safe biking and all of these issues? Are you one that will listen to the community and maybe tweak some of your positions if the community is if it makes sense what they're asking for?
Yes, I mean, community input is valuable in doing this work. I mean, this is why we have the division that we have, is because communities do feel left out. And I'm not just talking about checking a box and how
Hmm.
we communicate with the community, but I'm really like, how do we listen to and try to be robust and be change makers in what it is that we're hearing, right? Really thinking about how we hear. When we talk about affordable housing, and even when we talk about bike lanes, when we talk about so much more, even as much as we do community input, there may just have to be a decision that's made. And that's
Hmm.
real, right? Like things
Yeah.
need to still move and happen. We need affordable housing. We don't have a wide city. We have to build, and we are a dense city. So we have to think about building up. So that's going to be regardless of conversation. But we do want to bring folks along in the conversations about what does that look like, where, when, and how. Even when we're talking about bike lanes, thinking about those who are disabled, thinking about those who have specific needs. We need to have community town halls that are happening. And I am committed to doing that work across our city and making sure that our individuals, that our neighbors have that voice, that they know that they can always count on me and come to me, because I will be having listening sessions throughout our city. And so,
Okay.
yeah.
So tell me, how about a closing statement, please? And where can people find out more about you?
Great. Thank you so much, Jimmy. Again, thank you so much for all that you do for our community. I am Ayesha M. Wilson, and I'm running to be your next city councilor. I have devoted my life to the city of Cambridge. I am a working mom. I'm a Teamster, Local 122 union member, and I have been for 10 years. I want to think about the most marginalized communities, families, and so much more. Please know that when you vote for me, it's a vote for we, that we will be at that table. Again, I'll be the third Black woman to be in this seat and the fourth woman of color. There's a lot of work that we need to do, Cambridge, if we want to be progressive and if we want to represent. We have to do more. So I really look forward to having your vote. VoteAyesha.com. Vote Ayesha on all social media platforms. Please vote Ayesha #1 on November 7th. Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you, Ayesha M. Wilson, for Cambridge City Council. Thank you so much for joining us today, Ayesha. I will see you on the campaign trail, and I will see your son prime time on the campaign trail as well, I'm sure.
Yes, he's getting into those Ritz crackers, so I got to go get them before
Okay.
they're everywhere. All right. Thank you so much, Jimmy. Take care. Bye-bye.